say it, but I've had people kind of drill them down on this. And what are you really worried about? Is like, how do I keep my thumb on them? How do I know if they're working? How do I make sure they're not doing laundry? How do I make sure they're not running errands on my dime? That's really the issue, isn't it? It is that performance management, accountability, transparency, communication, all of those things that we value. It's not so much, well, it's about culture. Maybe there's a little bit of that. It's hard to have family when you don't see family, you know. But in business, I would say this in our company, you know, you might feel like family, but we're not a family. We do not exist for family values. We actually exist to get something done. We exist to serve our partners in these ways, and you will be managed and held accountable for doing the following things. And so you have to have a really strong performance management in there. You can't just put your values around culture and say, we exist for culture. You know, companies say it all the time, like, we hire for culture. No, you don't. You hire to get a job done. Like when you open up a rec and you need to hire somebody, it's because a job needs to get done. It's not because you need somebody just to fit your culture. And so let's define what needs to be done in a certain time period. Let's define how we're going to measure that thing in that certain time period, and let's hold people accountable in that time period.
And I would say that's value alignment. I mean, you believe in the value of getting shit done and making and providing a service that people are looking for, and you're hiring a team that's very aligned with that, right?
Very, very much so. Very much so. And it's those are tough things to do when we've gone through. A lot of companies had to furlough people or lay people off or terminate people. But to actually know who you're going to do that to, you need to have a very strong performance management. Otherwise, you go, who do we let go? I don't know. Well, don't let go your top performers. Usually, we know who those people are. But there's this whole kind of middle, big kind of blob of people where we don't have good visibility and transparency and performance management in place to know who's actually good and who's not good. And so then it's going to be a little bit of a gut and who's liked most and it's very messy, really, really messy.
You're like eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, totally. You know, when you look at if somebody hands you a photograph or you look at a picture on wherever online and you're in the picture and it's a group picture, our eyes automatically go to ourselves, right? And we look at ourselves and if we're happy with it, how we look, we go, that's a good picture. It's a good picture if we look good in it, right?
Yeah, you're right.
So, by nature, people are selfish, and then we look for ourselves and how do I fare in. So when I say people first, and I've got a sea of 100 salary team members, and I say we're a people first organization, everyone's picture that they look at, the lens they see is, it's all about me. Like, you're going to take care of me. I'm like, yes, but
isn't it a bitchy way though? Yeah.
It's a big picture, right? So when we say people first, we say all of our people first. Well, does that mean everybody is equally, you know, we're trying to make sure everyone's really happy and perfect and put first? Well, you can only have one first. That's me. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. That just came to me. But we look at it as the whole as opposed to every individual. And so what we mean by that, so you talked about performance management at the beginning of this call here. And it is really, really important because we're a high performance company. So every single person in the organization, everyone has a number. It doesn't matter who you are, everyone has a number. Everyone is measured according to that number, at least one number, some people more. And that is called it's your job. If you are not hitting your number, you are not doing your job. It's just not done. Done or not done, not done. So
and what do you say when you have other service providers telling you, well, what's a tangible number? Like, what's a number that's tangible in every job? Like, how do you define that?
Well, that's good. That's a good question. So 80% of our business for the last 10 years has been in recruitment. We don't recruit for companies based on job descriptions. So because job descriptions, a couple of things that are not true. Job descriptions, they don't describe the job, right? And resumes don't really describe the person. Both are lying.
Gotta dig deeper.
Yeah, it's like that is not, you know, we hire resumes and then people show up to work and then we hire them for what they know and then we fire them for who they are. and then they point at the job description and say, that's not on my job description, because it wasn't really the job. So first of all, everybody has a number. We only work on a recruiting search if we can actually come up with the quantifiable performance objectives that must be accomplished by the anniversary date.
So you're defining, I mean, that's how you're doing it. You're defining expectations with your clients, which then drive your people.
Exactly. Because how the heck could you recruit somebody for a job if you don't know what the job is? Like, how will they be measured on success? Well, there needs to be measurement, because the point in hiring is that a job gets done. So just tell me what the job is that needs to get done, and then tell me how you're going to measure it. So when everyone has a number, and you can measure absolutely anything. So if I go to the San Diego airport right now today, so I'm going to fly out somewhere, and I'm leaving the restrooms, and on the outside of the restrooms right there's a little green and a red button that says a smiley face or a sad face. How are we doing? How are we doing on the cleanliness here? You shouldn't touch those, because lots of people don't wash their hands. So if you do it with your elbow or your knee. But what you're doing is you are giving a measurement to somebody's job. You're saying, how satisfied are we with the cleanliness of this room? And because some janitorial company has the contract of cleaning those restrooms, and part of the service level agreement is we must have a satisfaction rating of X amount, and that's how we're going to measure it, because they put a measurement in place for satisfaction. You can do that with any job out there. So, and I promise you can do it with absolutely any job. You've just got to find what do you value and how you're going to measure it.
Yeah.
So that's how we do it, and that's how we look at people first as a whole organization. We go, everybody needs to be doing their job, no ifs, ands, or buts, and that's a simple way of working out how we put our people first. Because if everyone's doing their jobs, it ties to the company's goals, mission, vision, values, and it's called job security and sustainability and all of those things.